Hey ladies, thanks for joining me today. If you're new to my channel, my name is Mitzi and I'm a paper girlie, and if you're a returner, well, welcome back. Okay girls, so today we're going to talk about Flashdance, and you can tell by my outfit that yeah, I loved me some Flashdance. I loved that movie, not only for the music, not only for that iconic song by Irene Cara, but also I loved it because of the underlying themes. The underlying themes of just, having a dream, having a wild, wild dream, and then having, well, the hustle to make it happen. Because this is the ultimate movie about passion, a little bit of hustle, and a little bit of friction between, your regular life, your day job, and then your wildest dream. So gals, let's get to the quote and then to the journal prompts, and then we'll have a little discussion about it. So the first journal prompt should not surprise anyone because it comes from that song, that iconic anthem of a song that plays at the end of this movie. That song, What a Feeling, that's sung by Irene Cara, and this is the quote. The quote is, "Take your passion and make it happen." Ladies, today all the journal prompts revolve around ambition, drive, and determination. The determination to figure out what your passion is. And then, of course, what steps you need to take to then take that idea and make it happen. And girls, let me be the first to just tell you that as a woman of a certain age, a lot of times we have lost what we're passionate about. We have lost it in the hustle and bustle of just lifing. However, I just want to tell you, it's possible to figure it out again, to figure out what you are really, really passionate about, and then how you're going to take whatever you're passionate about and then do something real, real big with it. So obviously for me, it is journaling. I rediscovered my passion for journaling here in the last few years. And then, yeah, I had to hustle up some courage. I had to hustle up some courage to then come on here and share that passion with you. And then build a community around it. And goodness, I mean, it is just the best thing. It is the best thing that I have done for myself because I have figured out what my passion is, and then I have made something happen with it. Okay, so girls, let's get to these prompts. So the first two journal prompts, they are under the heading of ambition and the day job. Because girls, let's remember, Alex was a welder. By day, she was a welder in order to then fund her dreams. So the first prompt is, what is your day job, or current responsibility, and how does it fuel or drain your creative ambitions? So that is the first one. And then the second one is called imposter syndrome. When Alex considers auditioning for the dance conservatory, she feels like an imposter. So this is the question for you. Where do you feel like an imposter, and how can you prove to yourself that your hard work makes you belong? Okay, so those are the first two journal prompts. So the next two, they fall under the category of creativity and artistic expression. Now, Alex, she uses dance. She uses dance as the ultimate release for her stress and for her emotion. So the question here for you is, how do you physically or mentally release the built-up tension of your day-to-day life? Because girls, I mean, we know as women of a certain age, as mothers and wives and girlfriends or partners, that life can get to life in some time, and we get stressed out. So the question is, how do you physically or mentally release that built up tension, that built up stress in your day-to-day life? And then the next one is called artistic vulnerability. When Alex finally takes the stage at her audition, she leaves everything out there in one raw, unapologetic performance. So the question here for you is, describe a time you performed, created, or spoke with total unfiltered passion. And then the last two, they fall under the category called fear and stepping into the spotlight. And the first journal prompt I'm calling embracing failure. Because gals, we're talking about movies this month, and I'm going to go out there on a limb and say that most movies, they have one character, if not more than one character, that is dealing with the possibility of some type of rejection. I mean, that is just kind of, how movies kind of arc out. Whether it is a situation, whether it is a person or a relationship, somebody usually is facing something that could be a rejection, and then in the movie they have to kind of push their boundaries of whether they are able to, have the courage to go out there, face that rejection, face the possibility of failure. So the question here is, what is the worst thing that could happen if your biggest dream fails? And how would you handle it? And girls, let me just say that, hey, I mean, my dream here was to come on here and share my love of journaling, my passion for journaling, all the, yippity yaps that I come on here talking about journaling. And so I had to embrace the idea that I might be a YouTube failure. I might come on here and put out some videos and maybe nobody would watch them. Maybe no one would watch them, or if they did, that they would have judgment that they would put down in the comments. I had to let go of my ego and embrace the idea that if I looked at it that way, then it could be a failure. I could be a failure. However, all of that said, did it work out for me? I'm going to say that it has. And not because, I have, tons and tons of views. I mean, I'm just what I call a baby YouTuber. I have a small little channel with a few, followers, subscribers. But where I feel like I have succeeded, where I have pushed my boundaries in finding the courage to, come on here on YouTube, come on here and then make, the Facebook group, where I have really, leaps and bounds gotten what I've wanted out of this, is the community that I have built around my channel with you women of a certain age, us women that we all love journaling and paper and stickers and, all the stuff. That is where, I can say, no matter what my numbers are, no matter what my views are, my subscribers are, the fact that I have a solid community of women, a community that I have built by coming on here, by pushing my boundaries, by having the courage to really go after, what was, for me, I'm going to say, well, it was less than a year ago that I had this dream to come on here. So for me, winner, chicken dinner, it's all good. Okay, so done with that little tangent. Let's get on to this last little prompt. So this last prompt is called self-made confidence. And gals, like I have said before, sometimes you got to fake it before you make it. And then that is part of making your self-made confidence. So the question here is, what is one of your flaws or unique quirks that you have learned to embrace or own? So that is the last journal prompt. So girls, normally here I do a craft. However, because I am such a slow crafter, I can't keep up. I really can't keep up with these videos, giving these journal prompts and craft as well. So I'm gonna just have to say I'm a failure. I'm a failure when it comes to my crafting ability to do it in a timely manner to then get these videos out to you. Because gals, the most important thing to me is the actual journaling element of these videos. So I have to just focus on those. And if I come up with a banger idea down the line for a craft, and that one that I really want to do, one that I want to present to you as a really, great idea, then I will take the time to do that. However, today I'm not going to, because, well, you know, life got to lifing. I got behind on things. And honestly, I just don't have time. I just don't have time to do a craft. However, I do want to give you the opportunity to make a craft of your own, because I know, because I see over on the Facebook group all these amazing, you know, just unique, creative, crafty things over there. And goodness, I mean, even when I do come on here and I, you know, do a craft, I mean, what can I say? Paper crane. Sometimes you don't even do them. And goodness, you know, I don't expect you to. The crafting that I was doing here is just for inspiration and just for fun. So I'm just going to put this out there to you today, is that, hey, maybe make something that has to either do with music, because there was a lot of really good music in this film, or something to do with dance, or something to do with dreams. With dreams, whether it's your dream or just dreams in general, you can make something crafty and unique that way. So, girls, I'm not going to do the crafting part, but yeah, do I have something to say about this, the themes of this movie? Yeah, I do. More than what I've already said. Yeah, I do. Because, girls, like I'm always on here talking to you about certain things, a lot of it stems around the idea, or revolves around the idea, that we are, for the most part, I believe that we are women of a certain age here. Women of a certain age come and watch my videos. Women of a certain age come and watch my videos because they're getting back into journaling, or they are discovering journaling. And so those are the women that are here. So that said, for this movie, a big theme of it is, you know, the passion in, well, in Alex's life, whether it is the passion for dancing, whether it is the passion that she has, you know, with the male character. It is all about passion. And like I said at the very beginning of this, gosh, I mean, over the years, have we lost some of that? You know, I'm not talking about, you know, sexual passion. I'm just talking about passion for life in general. And I'm going to say, well, I'm going to say, by some of the comments, by some of the things that people have shared with me, that yeah, some of us have lost some of the passions in our life. The passions, the dreams that we had when we were young, we lost that over the years. We lost that over the years because of, well, because of circumstances, because we, you know, became mothers, because of just circumstances in life in general. We had to take on responsibilities for others, responsibilities for ourselves. We had to take on other responsibilities, and our passions were pushed aside. They were pushed aside in priorities. They were pushed aside because it just wasn't, you know, reasonable or viable in our lives to pursue those passions, to pursue those dreams. Yeah, they got pushed way back in the line of what we really thought was important. And so I'm just going to put this out there and just say, like I have said before, that now is the time. Now is the time to discover or rediscover what you are passionate about when you were young, or what you are passionate about now. Because gals, I mean, I say it all the time, we are not getting any younger, and we have to embrace that fact. We have to embrace the fact that, you know, we are midway. We are midway through life, and maybe a little bit more if you're older. So yeah, now is the time. Now is the time to make those dreams a reality, if that is important to you. And girls, I think that should be important to you, because we have one go around here. We have one go around here. And it has just become more and more evident to me as I watch my parents get older, is that time flies by. Time flies by so quickly. And well, for me, I don't want to look back on my life and say, you know what? I had a dream, I had a passion, and I did not pursue it. I did not make it an important focus of my life. And girls, I feel the same way for you. I feel the same way for you, because a lot of you here, I know that actually probably most of you here, unless you are discovering me for the first time, if I'm popping up on your screen for the very first time because, Uncle Al pushed me out to you, most of the women that come on here that are following me along in this Girlfriend's Guide to Journaling, they are women in the Facebook group that, yeah, if you're new here, then we do have a Facebook group. There is a link in the description that, you can pop on. It will pop you over there. You answer a couple questions and then you're in. That is where the community aspect of my channel really resides. And that is where I have found, just a real passion in what I am doing here. And yeah, I have started some really good foundations to some very real special relationships, friendships with ladies over there in that Facebook group. And gosh, the more that I get to know you, the more that I care about you, the more that I care about you as a woman, as a fellow, traveler on this road that we are on. And I am, the more passionate I get about the idea that what I want for myself, I want for you. I want for you in a very personal way now that I'm getting to know you better. Before, it was just kind of, me coming on here, blubber blabbering about, I feel this, you deserve that, etc., etc. But now I have to just be real honest and say that the more that I have, back and forth conversations, whether it's through the happy mail element of the Facebook group, or whether it's through the comments here on YouTube, the more that I feel like I'm getting to know you by putting myself out there for you to get to know me, the more that I am just, what is the word I'm looking for? I am invested. I am invested in your joy. And whether that is right or wrong, I am fully invested. And so, girls, that is why I come on here day after day with these journal prompts to challenge you to seek out your own joy, to seek out the joy that I've found in my life, to seek out the peace that I have found in my life through journaling. So girls, let's get back to these journal prompts, and then you can pick out a few of them. One or two might be nice, and then we'll be on our way. Okay, so the journal prompts for today. The first two journal prompts are under the heading of ambition and the day job. The first one is balancing acts. What is your day job or current responsibility, and how does it fuel or drain your creative ambitions? And then the second one is called imposter syndrome. Where do you feel like an imposter, and how can you prove to yourself that your hard work makes you belong? So those are the first two. And the next two fall under creativity and artistic expression. The first one is called the power of movement. So this question is, how do you physically or mentally release the built-up tension or stress of your day-to-day life? And then the second question is under artistic vulnerability. And the prompt here is, describe a time you performed, created, or spoke with total unfiltered passion. Okay? So those are the first four journal prompts, and then the last two, they fall under the category of fear and stepping into the spotlight. And the first one is called embracing failure. And the question here is, what is the worst thing that could happen if your biggest dream fails? And how would you handle it? And then the last one is called self-made confidence. Now, gals, I'm wearing, my purposely cut off sweatshirt for this journal video today. However, if you watch the movie, it was an accident. This whole look that Alex, made iconic, her whole signature look, it was an accident. So the question here is, what is one of your flaws or unique quirks that you have learned to embrace and own. Okay, gals, so those are the journal prompts for today. And once again, I just want to challenge you to, write a couple of them down, reflect on them, and then, if you are so inclined, if you have the time, I didn't today, but if you have the time, then make a little paper craft to then put down in that notebook. Just as, one for fun, and two, just as, something special to remind you of what you might have learned today. So let's get to the last quote and then we will get out of here because God knows, I'm a busy, busy gal. I don't even have time for crafty today and I have lots to do. Okay, so the last quote for today is actually the tagline from the movie. And this is what it says. Something happens when she hears the music. It's her freedom, it's her fire, it's her life. So what am I going to say about that? Well, gals, that's why I'm here. I am here because I want to support you. I want to possibly inspire you, and I definitely want to celebrate you. Celebrate you in finding your fire, finding your passion, and making it happen. Okay, gals, until next time, from one paper girlie to another, bye.